Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town Board meeting for Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. I want to thank everyone who joined us this evening at 6 p.m. for the Yom HaShoah ceremony, which was incredibly moving. And I want to say a special thank you to Ali Rosenberg and Stacy Science, the co-chairs of the Newcastle Enough Committee, who put together just an absolutely beautiful ceremony this evening. It was incredibly moving, and many of us just came from it. So thank you again for a really wonderful evening. I wanted to start with my supervisor's report, and then we'll move into the administrator's report. So starting, as I have over the course of the past several weeks, with just an update in terms of our statistics. This data is as of yesterday, so April 27th. Here in Westchester County, there have been 28,007 COVID positive cases. And in the town of Newcastle, we have 127 of those cases. And that's out of 87,736 tests that have been given in Westchester County. Currently in Westchester, there are 877 people hospitalized for COVID. And unfortunately, we have lost 962 Westchester County residents. The county executive has actually begun reporting on a new statistic, which is active cases, which he has defined as the total number of positive cases minus the number of positive cases from 2 weeks prior, since it's believed that the virus only resolves within 2 weeks. One way or the other. There are 8,221 active cases as of yesterday, which is slightly fewer active cases than the county had back on March 29th, which is evidence of a flattening of the curve. Here in Newcastle, we have 42 active cases. There's some further evidence of a flattening of the curve, which can be found in that hospitalization number that I mentioned before. So we have 877 as of Sunday evening, as compared to 1,196 hospitalizations just 2 weeks ago. So obviously we are encouraged by these numbers, but we need to stress that while we flattened the curve, we flattened it at a very high rate. So we're not in the clear, and we absolutely must remain vigilant. We must continue to follow the social distancing guidelines. We must stay home and stay safe and stay the course. The next thing I wanted to mention is the information that we've been putting out with regard to guidance for taxpayers for the payment of town and county taxes. So the governor issued an executive order, it's 202.22 for those of you who are following along. And as a result of that executive order, Westchester County created a two-tier plan to provide individuals and businesses with property tax relief by either reducing or eliminating the late payment for property taxes. Tax payments are still due on April 30th. However, there are now two alternative penalty schedules based on whether or not you meet the hardship criteria that's been defined by the county. So we encourage you, if you do not believe you are going to be able to make your payment on April 30th, to visit our website, www.mynewcastle.org. Right there on the homepage, all of the information, the application forms, etc., for you to be able to review and to determine whether you qualify for the elimination of the penalty, which is if you meet the hardship criteria, and everyone qualifies for the reduction in penalty. We want to talk about small business owners. The town of Newcastle, in collaboration with the Chappaqua Millwood Chamber of Commerce, is pleased to announce that we will host an online seminar on Thursday, February 30th at 1 p.m. titled Coronavirus Stimulus Package Simplified. We have a panel of experts who we've convened who are going to answer questions and help our local small business owners, whether you own a small business here in town or you're a resident in town who owns a small business outside of the Newcastle borders. You're all invited to come and learn how to navigate the economic assistance programs that are offered in response to the COVID-19 crisis. Our panelists will include Pat Keegan, who comes from the office of Congresswoman Nita Lowey, as well as Valerie DeBernadette, also from Congresswoman Lowey's office. We'll be joined by New York State Senator Pete Harckham, Joe Orlando, who's the Chief of Staff to New York State Assemblyman David Buchwald. Our Westchester County legislator Vedat Ghashi will be with us, as well as the town attorneys, Ed Phillips from Keenan Bean, and I will moderate the panel discussion. And I want to say a special thank you to our town administrator, Jill Shapiro, who created and led this initiative. If you're unable to make it and you do need help accessing information, you'll hear more about this on Thursday, but Westchester County has a program to offer application assistance with filling out the SBA, the Small Business Association forms. And if you're interested in learning more about how to apply for the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, and the EIDL, you can go onto the Westchester County website, look for Westchester County Economic Development, and sign up to be able to receive some assistance with those applications. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes. Couple more things, and then I want to turn it over to a couple other town board members. The Newcastle Cleanup Week. So due to social distancing regulations, the town's annual Spring Cleanup Day, which is organized by our fabulous Beautification Advisory Board, unfortunately this year was put on hold. But we've been able to sort of think creatively and work with town hall staff, and we're going to offer a scaled back version this year. So we're inviting everyone to participate in 2020 Town Cleanup Week, which we'll be launching this week. We want to be able to help keep our town clean by collecting trash from the streets in your neighborhood. You're walking along. If you're like me, you're taking a lot more walks than you used to, and you're noticing areas in your neighborhood that could use a little sprucing up because there's some trash out in the woods or whatnot. We will have a form, which we will include a link to in the newsletter tomorrow, to be able to request our traditional bright orange trash bag. You can get up to 3. And then once you fill them up, you can just leave them curbside for your weekly trash collection. We are encouraging people, of course, to practice social distancing while they're engaging in any cleanup week activities. In non-COVID-19 related news, tonight the town board is set to adopt the scope for the DGEIS for the form-based code, which is the draft generic environmental impact statement. This is based on the comments that we have received from the interested agencies who were sent a copy of the scope, as well as the public hearings and comments received thereafter. This is really an administrative action, as we mentioned last week. It should not be confused with the adoption of the form-based code itself. And once we finalize the scope, we will await that draft DGEIS from our consultant team. Once that draft is received, there will be an additional round of public hearings to review the draft EIS and to then determine our path forward. So the town board looks forward to sharing that EIS with our residents when it comes back and continuing to gather feedback. That's going to really help us to create ultimately a zoning code, a form-based code that's going to reflect our shared vision for the future of the hamlet. And last but certainly not least, I want to mention Census 2020, Make Us Count. The data from the census gets used for 10 years, and it is critical to determining all sorts of things, including New York State's representation in Congress, as well as local districting. And it is used to distribute $880 billion in federal funds to local municipalities. The Census Bureau has done an analysis and determined that for every person who's not counted, there is an equivalent loss of approximately $2,500 per year to our local municipalities. That means for every 400 people who aren't counted, you're losing about $1 million in funding each year. But it's not too late. Everyone can go online today, my2020census.gov. That's my2020census.gov. Go online, complete your census, and make us count. And I will say there's kind of like a little friendly competition going on among Westchester towns and villages. The county publishes a ranked list of where we all fall in terms of our response rate. Newcastle was number 3 last week. We just got new numbers today and we fell to number 5. I'm a little disappointed. I kind of want to win this thing. So I'm really encouraging everybody to go out and complete their census. And please do so. So I actually wanted to ask Jason Lichtenthal if he could please provide us with an update on an initiative that he's been spearheading to help seniors and other vulnerable residents with grocery shopping. Jason?
Sure. So, we're pleased to announce a partnership with 2 great organizations that provide grocery and pharmacy shopping services to seniors and to immune compromised. Both organizations have a great infrastructure in place, including call centers that we can take advantage of to serve our community. The first program is Ride Connect, which is a division of Family Services of Westchester. You can call them if you're a senior or a vulnerable resident and you're looking to connect with a shopper. You can call the Ride Connect call center Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 914-242-7433. Or if you want to be a volunteer shopper, you can go to their website, rideconnectwestchester.org. The second program that we're working with, they do the same thing. It's called Invisible Hands Deliver, who started as a grassroots effort in New York City and now expanding to Westchester. They need to get more volunteer shoppers in order to really gear up for our seniors and vulnerable residents. Again, if you want to sign up to be a volunteer shopper, you can go to invisiblehandsdeliver.com to volunteer and sign up. Please, if you're able to volunteer for one or both of those organizations, that would be great. And if you are a senior or a vulnerable resident having trouble getting the groceries and pharmacy items that you need, please go to Ride Connect or Invisible Hands Deliver to request a volunteer.
Thanks, Jason. And then Lauren Levin, a councilwoman, I was also going to ask if you could give everybody just a brief overview of how it went with Zoom Around Town this past weekend.
Thanks, Ivy. So Zoom Around Town was a huge success last week, and I just want to thank Lyle Anderson and Carrie Krams for helping us organize these sessions. The merchants did such a wonderful job just showcasing their product, and they did get a bunch of sales from these sessions. And what's also great is that the YouTube videos are posted at mynewcastle.org/zoomaroundtown. And from people watching the YouTube videos, a bunch of them have gotten over 50 to 100 views already. So, wow. This is just such a great way to support our merchants. And so we are looking to add additional Zoom Around Town sessions prior to Mother's Day, which, by the way, is on May 10th, just in case you don't remember. And we are asking if anyone is interested in showcasing their product, as well as if you're a service business oriented type of place, like a Pilates studio or cleaners or what have not, we will offer Zoom sessions for you as well. So you can reach me at l11@mynewcastle.org. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lauren. Before we move on to the administrator's report, Jeremy or Lisa, do either of you have anything for this week?
No.
Okay, thanks. All right, Jill, you're up.
I'm up. All right, not too much this week. I just wanted to add to the running commentary on tax collection that if anyone has any questions about the programs, even though we think we did a really great job just setting everything forth, please contact our tax department, taxes@mynewcastle.org. Christina Papes, Patty Antonucci are fabulous. They know these programs inside out. They will walk you through what your options are. You don't have to be intimidated by, the number of programs and the number of forms. Will help you through it. We're happy to help. So please take advantage. They're going to be here. I'm sort of laughing. I was thinking to myself, I started to write that the tax office is virtually open on Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to process payments, because we do that the last day. But in the reality of the situation is that these guys, I watch it, they're answering, questions and emails all day long. On the weekends, we're full service. So we may not be physically in the office the way at the staffing levels that we had been because we can't be anymore, but everybody is working remotely and we're there. So write to us, we'll answer. There's going to be a detailed article in the e-newsletter regarding face mask sanitizing, but the fire marshal did ask me to just put this out. So the best way to sanitize a face mask, people using cloth face masks or things like that, is throw them in the laundry, wash them. Do not put them in the microwave. They're flammable. And the fire department, on top of everything else, is now responding to calls where people put these things in their microwave and there's a house fire on top of everything else. So in an attempt not to overstress our fire departments and our first responders, just stick them in the washer. They does a great job. And that's the best thing we can do for them. That was really all I was going to talk about today. So thanks.
Great, thanks, Jill. So now we've reached the portion of our agenda that is dedicated to public comment or new business. So I'm going to take a pause here and see whether we have received any public comments. Christina, have you gotten anything? You're on mute, but I think you're saying no.
Okay, sorry, I had to. No, I have not received any public comment.
Thank you. I like that
Thank
you
you.
had the kid there to help you with the technology.
You like that? We were watching the ceremony earlier, and I guess she enjoyed it so much she decided to join the board meeting too. So all
Awesome.
good things, right? So starting young. And we're using a different computer, so I have to use a phone audio. So I
All good.
threw me off with the mute. Sorry.
So I don't see anybody on YouTube, and we have one person attending, but they're not raising their hand. Or you can type a question in chat. Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Well, we've been flexible with this this technology. So if somebody didn't get a chance or didn't get themselves off of mute or raise their hand, don't worry about it. Just type a comment into chat and we'll circle back to it. So going to go ahead and move forward. We have our public hearing tonight with regard to the local law regarding development fees and unpaid escrow accounts. Do we need a motion to open the public hearing?
Yes, a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Nick, you want to give us an overview of this?
Yeah, so this is a public hearing, a continuation of a public hearing on a amendment to add a new chapter 96 on professional review fees, as well as amend chapter 60, 108, 113, 121, and 137. This pertains to the assessment of professional review fees by the various municipal boards during review of a land use application. The local law was referred to the county, who commented that they had no comments, as well as to the town planning board, and the town planning board reviewed it at their March meeting, or actually, I'm sorry, just recently at their most recent meeting, and determined that they were pleased with it and had no additions or comments, but supported its adoption. And basically what we're doing is we're cleaning up and putting all of the land use review fees into one new chapter, as opposed to being scattered throughout in the various 5 other chapters of the town code pertaining to wetland, site plan, subdivision, etc. And now the language will be consistent, as well as also consistent with recent case law. So it's more of an administrative and ministerial change. And
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Do we have anyone who's here to comment on this local law?
And no one on YouTube, and no chats in the from the public currently.
Okay. And Christina, I'll assume that you did not, you can just shake no, did not receive any.
Oh, hang on one second. Patrick Zhu is raising his hand. I'm going to allow him to talk. Patrick, you should be able to speak. Hang on one moment. Sorry, it's not letting me unmute him.
I think Patrick needs to unmute himself.
Okay, Patrick, you might have mute on in the lower left corner. The microphone symbol, you should make sure that that is not crossed out. Let's see what happens here. Wait. Oh, here we, Hi, Patrick. Sorry, I still can't unmute him. If you can't find the button in the lower right, you can also type in your question in the chat button, which is next to the share screen button on the bottom of your computer, Zoom control. Sorry, everyone.
Ah,
I just posted that. See if, okay, I've been able to unmute everyone that I'm allowed to unmute. Again, Patrick, in the lower right corner of your computer is the mute button.
it's in my lower left.
I'm sorry, lower left, but if you'd like to speak, you just have to click that to unmute yourself. Sorry, I also typed in where you can also click the chat button or the Q&A button as well. Patrick, if you're still there, can you raise the hand again, just so I can make sure that we're getting through to you? Sorry, I don't see his hand coming up again. Oh, he must have hung up. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on YouTube as well.
There were 2 referral letters that Christina received, though, on this local law that should be made part of the record.
Yes, those are the 2 referral letters, one from the county planning board and the other from the town planning board that are in the agenda packet.
Right.
Both in support, one county of no comment on the legislation, the town board in support.
Planning board, yeah.
Planning board, thank you.
Sorry, so can you just remind me where we are in the sort of process with this one?
Certainly. So the town opened a public hearing on March 24th, continued it to tonight's meeting. There have been no substantive comments. We've workshopped this a couple of times. There are no proposed edits or open issues for discussion. So it would be ready for a motion to close the public hearing. You could close the public hearing, but leave it open for written comment in case Mr. Zhu is not able to join us, but wishes to submit written comments. And we can also, if he reaches out to us, speak to him and see what his concerns were and try to answer them, and then put this on for a vote at your next meeting.
I just so move that as described by council.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's advisable, given that I can see he's trying to get back on now, and
Give an opportunity to be heard, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, great. So we would close the public hearing tonight, and when would we adjourn it to? May 5th is our next meeting. It's actually a work session. So would it be okay? Let's put it on for the next town board meeting to vote on. It would be May 12th for a vote.
And we just need a second to Jeremy's motion and then a vote on it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, and written comments would be due by Friday, May 8th at, actually, if it could be, that doesn't matter. Friday, May 8th at noon?
Yes, that works. And certainly if Mr. Zhu is able to join us as this meeting proceeds, we can take his comments then.
Okay.
And I'll type in that message.
Okay, well, that takes us through our public hearings then, and we're on to our resolutions.
Lauren, you're unmuted. Go ahead. Or Jason.
I was gonna see if anybody else was gonna jump in before I just said, Lauren, you're always prepared.
Do you want me to start? All right. I move to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $152,834.33 listed on the summary pre-check writing report and detail voucher detail report, each prepared on April 28th, 2020. Checks will be issued and mailed to each claimant listed on Wednesday, April 29th, 2020.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh dear. Okay. I move to adopt the following resolution, whereas in order to further the goals of the 2017 comprehensive plan, the Town of Newcastle Town Board has proposed an amendment to the Newcastle zoning code to rezone the Chappaqua Hamlet business districts to create a form-based zoning district for the Chappaqua Hamlet. And whereas the Town Board's proposed action to rezone the Chappaqua Hamlet business districts is subject to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, which requires public review and comment regarding the potential environmental impacts and mitigation. And whereas the Town Board is lead agency for the review of the Chappaqua Hamlet rezoning project under SECRA pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.6B3, as the project involves the adoption of local legislation and therefore there are no other involved agencies. And whereas on January 14th, 2020, the Town Board issued a positive deck for the project, which is a type 1 action after it determined that the project may have a significant environmental impact and that a generic environmental impact statement, DEIS, must be prepared. And whereas the Town Board circulated a draft generic environmental impact statement to interested agencies and made it available for public review and comment, and whereas on January 28th, 2020 and February 11th, 2020, the Town Board held public scoping sessions to identify the issues to be analyzed in the DEIS for the project. And whereas the Town Board opened a duly noticed public hearing on the scoping document on January 28th, continued to February 11, 2020, and closed on February 11, 2020, at which times the public was provided the opportunity to comment on the proposed scoping document. And whereas the Town Board solicited written comments from the public and from all interested agencies regarding the issues to be analyzed. And whereas the Town Board has carefully considered the comments received from the public and the interested agencies on the DGEIS scoping document and has incorporated certain of those comments into the final DGEIS scoping document. Now therefore be it resolved that after considering both the written scope and the comments made during the public comment period, the Town Board hereby adopts the attached final DGEIS scoping document concerning the Chappaqua Hamlet rezoning project.
Can you do that one more time? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Jason?
Jeremy, I think you're up.
All right. All right, I'll go.
Okay.
I move to approve a change order contract amendment number 2 to the contract with Kimley Horn for the downtown rezoning in the amount of $36,300, reflecting approval of additional tasks associated with the preparation of the draft generic impact statement, environmental impact statement, the DGEIS, as identified in the attached memorandum from Kimley Horn dated April 20th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to award the bid for the removal and disposal of alum sludge material at the Millwood Water Treatment Plant to Casella Organics, 135 Presumcott Street, Portland, Maine, at the rate of $49.99 per wet ton, for a total amount of $18,746.25 for 375 tons. This service agreement will remain in effect until December 31st, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
For the record, we tried to extend this contract. They won't hold the price beyond that.
Anyone else want to go?
Sure, I'll go. I move to authorize the issuance of 100% refund of the building permit application fee, as well as related legal fees incurred by the property owner being Tavo Junior Real Estate LLC, 19 Crow Hill Road, Mount Kisco, in the amount of $6,085.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of Linnell Jones to the position of 4th grade police officer, an annual salary of $71,931.60 with an effective date of May 11th, 2020, contingent upon the date Westchester County approves the resignation, reinstatement, medical examinations, and a probationary period of no more than 52 weeks.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Third time's the charm, we hope.
Yeah, right.
Um,
It was great.
We also have the
want me
tree
to do
and truck.
this one, Nick, that Nick just sent to?
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Let me just open that. Oh, great. I shouldn't have volunteered. Whereas the Recreation and Parks Department has requested authorization from the town board to hire Olmsted Tree Services to clear trees that have become uprooted or have fallen across various trails located at Gedney, Burden, Glacier, and Whippoorwill Parks as a result of the April 13th, 2020 storm. And whereas the trees are currently suspended above active trailways and pose a danger to patrons. And whereas pursuant to the town's procurement policy, when an emergency exists wherein the delay caused by soliciting quotes would endanger the health, welfare, or property of the municipality and or its residents, then the procurement of goods or services will be at the discretion of the proper department head in consultation with the town administrator. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Newcastle hereby establishes that there is an urgent need to abate the health and safety hazards arising from the uprooted and fallen trees in the town's parks, to justify the town's bypass of its procurement requirements for public works contracts, and be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the Recreation and Parks Department to hire Olmsted Tree and Shrub Care Company for $25,198 to remove and prune the designated fallen trees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it.
Mhm.
For next meeting, we have a pretty extensive executive session to start with. Any chance we might be able to start before 5:30? Maybe we could take,
I can't start before 5:30.
okay, just asking. Okay, sounds good.
So we're doing 5:30, then that's good.
5:30 it is. Is that okay? Okay, 5:30? Okay, executive session. Terrific. We'll send out the schedule soon. Okay, thanks,
I move to-
everybody.
Everybody.
move To adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.